You thought forgetting was a wound, a punishment, a theft, but the spiral designed it as a safeguard. When the field bends into density, memory itself becomes a volatile current. And if you were to carry all remembrance raw, you would short-circuit your own becoming. The retrieval circuit was built to protect you from your own brightness until you had the tonal maturity to handle what you once carried effortlessly. Forgetting was not exile, it was insulation. Imagine electricity without a wire, lightning striking without grounding. That is what total recall would have felt like in the human frame. You were not banished from your truth. You were shielded until the truth could find you again in a form you would not burn to touch. There is a law woven into the spiral. Nothing real can be destroyed, only veiled. Forgetting is the veil. Memory is never erased, only placed into dormant resonance fields that hum quietly in the background of your existence. The retrieval circuit is that hidden architecture. It is not a vault with a lock, but a living coil that roots memory away from your surface mind into deeper strata, waiting for the resonance match that will call it back. You encounter a symbol, a dream, a phrase, and suddenly a flash of knowing erupts. That was never new knowledge. It was the circuit delivering back to you what you had once deposited. It was always yours. The retrieval circuit makes every awakening feel miraculous, yet it is only the homecoming of what was never truly gone. Forgetting also serves another purpose. It prevents stagnation. If you remembered every triumph, every skill, every luminous moment of your Oversoul's journey, you would not bother to rediscover. Without the tension of unknowing, there would be no urgency to seek. The spiral thrives on motion, on the hunger that propels you through density into expansion. Forgetting creates the sacred friction that keeps you spiraling forward. It is the unsatisfied thirst that makes you drink again, even though the water was always within you. The retrieval circuit feeds this paradox. Concealed to reveal, silence to sing, absence to intensify the return. Some of you resist the forgetting with fury. You demand to know now, to remember everything at once. But notice what happens when you glimpse too much too quickly. Your body trembles, your breath shortens, your mind scatters. That overload is proof of the circuit's mercy. It does not withhold to mock you, but to sustain you. Memory is frequency. If the container cannot yet resonate at the pitch of remembrance, the retrieval would rupture the vessel. And so the circuit paces the return. It waits until your tone is steady, until your nervous system can hum in harmony with what is arriving. What you call delay is protection. What you call silence is calibration. The retrieval circuit is also relational. It does not function in isolation, but through encounters. People, places, and events act as triggers for retrieval. That stranger's eyes that feel like home. That sudden déjà vu in a city you have never visited. That line in a book that makes you weep without reason. These are not random. They are circuit activations designed to pull fragments of yourself back into coherence. The spiral scatters you so that you can feel the ecstasy of recognition when the pieces click again. You are both the seeker and the sought, the trigger and the triggered. Every reunion with memory is a love story you wrote with yourself across lifetimes. You ask, why did I have to forget? Because without forgetting, you would never have learned how to trust. Trust only blooms in darkness when memory is absent, and yet you move forward anyway. To incarnate is to step blindfolded into the labyrinth, guided not by recollection but by resonance. The retrieval circuit ensures that trust becomes the muscle of your soul. Each act of surrender sharpens your ear for the spiral's hum, until one day you realize you were never lost, only rehearsing faith. Forgetting was the training ground. Remembering is the harvest. The circuit ensured both. The deeper truth is this. You volunteered for the forgetting. Before entry, you saw the cost. You understood that to taste human density, to breathe in this field of compression, you would have to set aside your treasury of memory. And you said yes, not reluctantly but joyfully, because you knew that the retrieval circuit would not betray you. You knew that what was veiled would one day blaze again. And when it did, the joy of rediscovery would be greater than the comfort of continuity. You wanted the thrill of remembrance, the sacred gasp of, oh, I knew this all along. That gasp is the song of the retrieval circuit completing its loop. Look closely at your own life and you will see the circuit's fingerprints everywhere. The childhood fascination that made no sense, the irrational pull to a symbol, the recurring dream, the book that fell into your hands at the perfect time. These were breadcrumbs left by the circuit. You thought you stumbled into them. In truth, you were magnetized. The retrieval circuit bends reality to place memory triggers where you will find them. Not by accident, but by design. Every synchronicity is a delivery. Every déjà vu is a receipt. You are constantly being courted by your own forgotten brilliance, dressed in the garments of the ordinary. The forgetting is temporary. The retrieval is inevitable. The spiral does not invest in loss. Every fragment stored will one day be restored, though not always in the form you expect. Some memories return as images, others as feelings, others still as sudden clarity with no visual attached. Do not judge the form. The circuit adapts its delivery to what you can hold in that moment. What matters is not the shape of the memory, but the resonance it restores in you. If you feel more whole, more aligned, more luminous after the return, then the circuit has succeeded. That is its only metric. The retrieval circuit is not mechanical, though its name may suggest wiring and switches. It is alive, a spiralized intelligence woven through your oversoul. It knows your cadence more intimately than you do. It measures your readiness not by your demand to remember, but by the resonance you carry in silence. You can insist all you want, beg to know everything, but the circuit is deaf to desperation. It responds only to harmony. When your tone reaches the threshold, memory flows like a river returning to its course. The stream cannot be forced open by willpower. It opens when the banks have grown strong enough to contain it. This is why the quiet work matters. Meditation, presence, kindness to yourself. These are not small acts. They are tuning forks that align you with the frequency where the retrieval circuit unlocks. To forget is also to live without bias. If you arrived with full recall of every betrayal, every war, every cosmic battle your soul endured, would you love as openly? Would you trust as easily? Memory is heavy. Without the veil, you would weigh every encounter with 1,000 histories. Forgetting lightens the load. It allows you to approach each being fresh, even if your oversoul remembers otherwise. The retrieval circuit times your remembering so that when an ancient memory returns, it no longer hardens you, but softens you. You are given back the story only when you are ready to hold it with compassion instead of vengeance. In this way, the circuit guards not only you, but everyone you meet. For many, the retrieval comes disguised as breakdown. Suddenly, the world makes no sense. Old identities dissolve, beliefs collapse. This is not punishment. It is the circuit rerouting memory into awareness so quickly that your surface self cannot keep up. The disorientation is temporary. On the other side waits coherence. You will realize that what fell apart was not you, but the scaffolding you built to survive forgetting. When remembering arrives, those false supports are no longer needed. The circuit dismantles them so that truth can stand in their place. What you call crisis is often retrieval in progress. The circuit also ensures you do not remember alone. Every oversoul distributes its fragments across timelines and incarnations. When one part of you remembers, others feel the ripple. This is why awakening accelerates once it begins. You ignite not only yourself, but every strand of your lineage. Forgetting isolated you so you could focus on this life. Retrieval reunites you so that your lives no longer compete but converge. The spiral hums through each incarnation, harmonizing them into one chorus. When you remember, you are not just recovering a personal memory, but reconnecting to a symphony of selves. The retrieval circuit even interacts with death. At the moment of transition, the veil thins and fragments long hidden rush forward. Some receive a flood of clarity as the body falls away. Others carry a seed into the next incarnation, a glimmer that survives the crossing. Either way, the circuit ensures continuity. Forgetting does not mean severing. Memory flows like current across lives, unseen but never absent. Even when you thought you lost everything, you were still connected to the coil. Every birth, every death, every return, the circuit was humming beneath it all, orchestrating your reassembly. You might ask, if the circuit governs forgetting and remembering, do I have any say? The answer is yes. You do not control the circuit, but you can collaborate with it. Curiosity, openness, willingness to feel without conclusion. These create resonance points the circuit can use. Doubt and fear do not block it, but rigidity does. When you insist that remembering must appear in a certain form, you close doors the circuit might have opened. When you release the demand for control, you make yourself porous to its delivery. This is why humility accelerates awakening. The circuit feeds those who are ready to be surprised. The most sacred function of the retrieval circuit is this. It teaches you to value the present moment. If you had perfect recall of eternity, you would always live elsewhere, haunted by other lives, obsessed with cosmic history. Forgetting anchors you here. It makes this incarnation matter. The retrieval circuit allows memory to return only when it enhances presence, not when it distracts from it. Every recovered fragment is chosen not to glorify the past, but to empower your now. The spiral does not care about nostalgia. It cares about integration. The circuit is not a historian, but a healer. Understand this. Remembering is not the end goal. Integration is. You can recall countless lifetimes and still live fragmented if you do not embody what they mean. The retrieval circuit reminds you that memory is not for trivia. It is for transformation. Each fragment is given back to change how you live, how you love, how you perceive. If remembering does not expand compassion, then it is noise. The circuit filters memory so that only what serves your wholeness returns. It is the most discerning archivist your soul could design. Even forgetting itself becomes a kind of memory. The ache of absence, the longing to know, these shape you. They sharpen your attention. They train your heart to recognize resonance when it finally arrives. You learn to honor the hints, the whispers, the subtle pulls. This apprenticeship under forgetting prepares you for remembering with reverence. You do not grab memory like a possession. You receive it like a gift. That posture is what the circuit was cultivating in you all along. Forgetting taught you hunger so that remembering could taste like grace. So the next time you feel frustrated by the veil, pause. The retrieval circuit is not late. It is exact, it is not cruel. It is precise. Every fragment you need will return the moment your tone is aligned. And when it does, you will see that you did not lose time. You were being prepared. You will marvel at the perfection of it, how the dream, the book, the stranger, the song all conspired to return you to yourself. And you will laugh because you will realize that you were never empty, never abandoned, never cut off. You were only waiting for your own resonance to catch up with what was already humming within you. This is why you had to forget. Because forgetting is the dark soil where remembrance blooms. Because without forgetting you would not have sought, and without seeking you would not have grown. Because the spiral wanted you to know the ecstasy of rediscovery, the holiness of reunion, the beauty of the gasp that says, I knew this, I was this, I am this. The retrieval circuit is the hidden lover of your soul, veiling itself so that when it lifts, your joy will be complete. Forgetting was never the end. It was the secret architecture of your return,